Hello and welcome to Michelle's Life on Repeat. I am in my orchid room watering my plants for the day, and I keep coming to this one orchid every day, and I question, should it still be on a mount? Should I put it in moss in a container so it can have all that moisture that it loves? Every day I question myself, and so today I decided to just bite the bullet. I thought I would take you along on the journey because if I fail at this, you too can learn from my failures. But I have in front of me a Dendrobium Fanjingshanense. It's the hardest word I have in front of me. Dendrobium Fanjingshanense. It's a species plant, and I'll put the name up in front of you on the screen. But here she is on her mount, and she's dripping because I just soaked her. But you will notice that last year, I got her in 2019, and last year she produced all of these little buds that never came to fruition. They dried up on the cane. So I thought, well, I will just keep trying to do the same thing over and over. And I've been watering her, and I can see that she has roots here and some through here and through here. And when I research her, she loves high humidity. And so then as I see that the weather is changing and the night temperatures are dropping, her current canes, which are these three at the top, let me separate them. These three at the top are changing colors, looking a little haggard, but do you see what I see? I see little tiny buds once again. And I want so badly to see her bloom, but I have a feeling she's going to dry up just like she did last year because this is the same time that she budded. So every day that I water her, I question myself. I question my sanity. Leave her on this mount underneath the humidifier, or and because every morning I go to water her, she is bone dry. She's drank all of the water. Or put her in a container. So I have snipped the back of all of her fishing line, and I've got ready to pull it off, and I thought I'd take you along on the journey. Let us see what we have. I tried my best to soften these loose roots that I see in the water, but let's take a peek. You know, as I'm peeling back this old moss, this is the moss that I grew, that grew on my trees outside here in Portland, Vancouver area. So I'm removing that off of it, and I can see she has a couple of strong roots going on in here. And then when I peek around the corner, she's got some going down into the bark. I still think I'm going to go with what I've been thinking, that she needs more moisture, because like yesterday I was bedbound with my chronic fatigue and a migraine, and I just could not water my orchids, and she needs water every single day. So I am going to cross my fingers, take her off of this mount with you guys, and we'll see how she transitions. I may lose these flowers. I read that she flowers on last year's canes. Well, she bloomed last year on the 2019 cane and started these last year and finished growing them this year. Obviously, we didn't get much success in my home, in my moisture. These canes did not grow very strong or very big. So, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Let's lower the camera so you can see what I'm going to do. Hopefully the fans are not too loud. I have the overhead fan on, which sometimes distorts the light flickering. I'm just removing this moss that is still the way it looked when I put it on, but I have in this bucket over here a bunch of sphagnum moss that I am soaking. And that's just a bagged sphagnum moss. It's one of the lower quality ones that has twigs and whatnot. Okay, I am going to slowly go in there. I hate the sound of breaking roots. Oh, there goes one. As she comes off. Oh, she's got a good root going there. Come on, little girl. I'm sorry, sweet girl. Slowly lift what I can. Yeah, she had more going on underneath. Oh, see, yikes, deep down in there. But there's a gut feeling in me that says, you know, she was planning on doing the same thing she did the year before. And when I bought the orchid, it was because I really wanted to see the flowers. I think they're orange. So I'm slowly trying to peel her little roots off. Some of them definitely are embedded really deep. Sorry, girl. I'm sorry. Okay, that one's grown through the root. We're doing some gentle prying of the roots. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Oh, she did have a lot more roots than I expected. But the moss is getting old. It's last year's tree moss. And you know, whether I succeed or fail, I won't cry over it. I'm not that attached. It was just a purchase instead of a gift from someone, but I do want to do my best to make sure I don't damage as much as possible. Way down here. There we go. Got her whole arm off. Let's see. She's still attached pretty good. We try the other side. Come on, little lady. Really trying to give you more humidity, girl. Just going for it. Last one. So I'm going to tweeze away all of this old moss, some that she came with. This was my mount, so she has already been lifted off of the mount at one point that it came on from Brookside Orchids and transferred once. I think because my orchid room does not get the high 85% humidity that she would love, I'm going to put her in a pot, this one. I'm going to try to curl her downward, all of her little roots, and I might even drop that finished product into one of my glass domes. I do have some big crocks that are like cooking jars or flour jars, sugar jars. Margaret East has a couple of those going on. I might grab one of those out of my cupboard. And it has a little lid that I can put off to the side and control more humidity. That's what I'm going to do. Let me clean her up and I'll be right back. I cleaned out a lot of the moss, but there are still some fine little pieces in there, and I'm going to leave well enough alone. As you can see, some of the ends are branching. Some of these fresh new roots, especially this one here, you'll see that it comes off on multiple different directions. So I tried to be as gentle as I could. Took off some dead roots. I'm sure I'll lose a few in the process, but I am going to tuck these into some moss, and I think I chose this one. I'm going to weight it down with some beaded pebbles just to anchor it down, and then I'm going to check and see if she fits. She does. I will put moss all around her, And then we'll choose what glass container to keep her in. I have to wring out my moss. So just wringing it out, lightly tucking it in around those roots. She was used to having something under the middle of her, so I want to make sure I get some down underneath her. In fact, I'll probably start over again. Put a little mound of it under her belly, like that, and then just tuck her in over that moss. Right, little lady. Hopefully this brings in more moisture. And I'm trying to keep it light and fluffy so it does dry out also in between watering and these don't get too soaked up. I have here a couple of new roots coming in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to make sure to get moss up on that side. I'm going to have to support her to stay up a little bit and get some more moss up under that side. This moss is low quality. I get nice twigs with it. But the cost of moss right now is very, very expensive. So I'm trying to use up my old moss. So she's in this pot, rather secure, but I am going to put a stake in her. Okay, let's see. I have put the stake down the middle. I got a phone call in the midst of filming, so I don't know where I left off. But I put a stake down the middle and clipped it in different places in case she flowers out. It gives a chance for us to see all the buds instead of them all clumped together in one. But we have fresh buds on this leaf and on this leaf, and also on this old cane, I think, or canes, not leaves, canes. So I have two choices. One, I can put her in this cookie container, or let's see, it only gives a little bit of moisture around the root area. Or I have this taller crystal vase that she could go in and until she stops, so she kind of tucks in there, and she's got a few of her canes in there. I can always lift it out when she does decide to bloom, but those are my two options. I don't know what I'll do. I like the fact that you can see her better in here, but this deep one might give her more humidity around the canes. Now, do they need the humidity around the canes or just around the roots? Or do they need it around their leaves also? All these things new to me. So I will experiment back and forth to see what I like on my table here by the humidifier. But as far as Dendrobium Fanjingshanense, if I pronounce that correctly, I do hope she blooms for me this year. Sometime, maybe next spring, who knows? But I will look forward to seeing her in bloom. I'll put a picture up over here of what the blooms should look like. And I thank you for spending some time with me as I took her off the mount and cross my fingers. We'll see if that works. I appreciate your time, and until we talk again, bye-bye.